Well, it's June, and that means Volume 7 came out, and next is Volume 8. All this joy and happiness, I don't know what to do. Oh, E3 happened! First, Reggie came out and he was like, I could show you for the next hour and a half the bunch of sales graph, and as long as I show a Zelda trailer at the end of it, you will still be my bitch. And then he was like, but to prove to you that Nintendo is no longer fucking around, here is a Zelda trailer. And I was like, oh my god! Then Miyamoto was like, now it's time for an on-stage demo. But then the controllers were like, hey, fuck you, man, I already played this level in rehearsal, I want something new. And then the trolls were like, how dare Nintendo show an incomplete product that is still in development and not work perfectly, it is clearly shit. The colors that aren't grey and brown, they hurt my eyes, nah. Then Reggie was like, I hear trolls on the internet talking shit. Let me introduce cold hard facts directly to their face. Although I doubt that would work. Also, new Mario sports game. It includes hockey. And nearly everyone in Canada went out and got a pre-order. But I was like, wait, why are they ice skating on the beach? Shut up and buy it, bitch. Okay. And then Reggie was like, I need a drink. Luckily, Warren Spector will come out on the stage and talk about Epic Mickey. And then Reggie came back and he was like, alright, for the next part of the show, I'm going to have awkward transitions. That last game was epic. Wanna know what else is epic? RPGs. Wanna know what an epic RPG is? Golden Sun. Wanna know what else is golden? Golden Eye. Oh my god, Golden Eye! And now I need some epic yarn metaphors for Kirby's Epic Yarn. And I'm like, isn't epic being an overused word? Shut up and buy them, bitch! Yes, sir! But then the trolls are like, but what about new IPs? Nrrr. Over the past 6 years, we've released 25 new intellectual properties, and you little whiny shitheads haven't bought them. For example, Hotel Dusk. And now Sing has gone bankrupt, and Last Window isn't coming here. I don't even know why I'm up here anymore. Anything I release, you'll just bitch about. For example, Kid Icarus. And then people were like, how dare you give Pit his brawl design, nrrr. Drink more Kool-Aid! Okay! It's not Kool-Aid! Then can I at least have something vaguely alcoholic, and pretend that it's a Kool-Aid? Okay! Then Reggie was like, you know in EA's press conference when you all were told to wear those 3D glasses? Everyone else was like, yes? Well, I just wanted to tell you that I think you looked fucking retarded. I'm offended. Sucks to be you. Now, let's watch this video showing my subtle desire to kill Miyamoto and Iwata and take over Nintendo. But after it, Reggie was like, I'm now changing my job to professional pimp. These people up here are all my hoes. Untethered to them are the 3DS. Have fun. Conference closed. But after it, Reggie's like, also, we're releasing a remake of Ocarina of Time in 3D. Do you take cash, debit, credit? Personal checks? Take my money now! But now I'm like, how am I going to segue back into a Pokemon review? Don't worry, bitch, we're also releasing Pokepark and Pokemon Ranger 3.
One more tangent. Viz, you know that manga speed-up that you were finishing for One Piece at the end of June? After that, could you shift your attention to Pokemon Adventures? Although I doubt they would do that since the main demographic is kids who don't have that kind of disposable income. But
I'm a selfish asshole, and I do have that kind of disposable income. And if I have to wait until December of 2014 in order to get to where the Japanese volumes are now, it's gonna suck. Excuse me for a minute. Now, where was I?
well, here we go. It's the start of the Yellow chapter, and they removed Missing No, the bastards. Well, not really. Here, Yellow is a mysterious trainer wearing yellow. Yellow is a pacifist, however, when Yellow gets angry, you will quickly learn that Yellow's Pokemon are from a Nippon Ichi game.
By the way, is my lack of using pronouns for Yellow getting annoying yet?
Warning, anything from this point onwards will completely disregard and spoil the twist. You have been warned.
The antagonists for this story arc are the Elite Four. In the games, they are strong trainers that you face before the final boss of the game, the champion. In the manga, they're batshit insane. As for Yellow, our main protagonist for this arc, she's a rather dangerous character.
To be blunt, she has many of the symptoms for a Mary Sue. She is an original character, is a love interest for Red, and has special powers. Despite all this, she isn't a boring character with Deus Ex Machina powers that you know will save the day.
Now, while Yellow does have these, so do the main antagonists of this arc. And quite frankly, they got the better powers. Well, let's jump right in. This is going to suck.
Today's screw-up is brought to you by the letters R, T, F, and M. Why? Why?
Anyways, instead of recycling the plot of the previous arc, they decide to do something different.
This volume starts in the ruins of Saffron City. 2 years have passed, and they still haven't cleaned up the rubble from the battle against the super ultra mega awesome Pokemon. In it is the plot device which isn't done being important yet. Although I do have to wonder a few things. If it fell from the top of the building, why is it still in one piece? Shouldn't it have shattered? Or wouldn't it have been crushed by the rubble? Well, I'll just ignore it since Pokemon is owned by Nintendo and this item is probably made out of Nintendium. We now shift to Red in Pallet Town, and he receives a letter of challenge from Bruno of the Elite Four. And then Red disappears. Pikachu comes back half dead. Luckily, our second Mary Sue appears. It's a young, plucky kid who is rather conveniently ready to take up Red's Pikachu. And the first heroic act Yellow does is trespassing.
And yes, I said second. Our first Mary Sue is a character who has already appeared.
Yellow quickly heals Pikachu and sets off on a quest without really explaining anything to either Professor Oak or the audience. We are just supposed to trust some person who appeared out of nowhere.
Seems believable to me.
Anyways, Professor Oak has this strange thing that is seemingly vacant from the rest of the Pokemon franchise. Common sense. And he doesn't trust some strange perky kid that appeared out of nowhere. And to test his skills, he tells Yellow to end the battle. Professor Oak uses a Spearow. Turns out that Yellow is a pacifist and doesn't like fighting. Yellow quickly knocks out Spearow by making it dizzy. Unfortunately, it seems that Professor Oak sacrificed his eyesight for common sense, because he thought Pikachu getting well when Yellow touched him was just his imagination.
Well, I guess anybody could make that mistake. Hey, wait. Bullshit! Throughout the book, they decide not to skip nicknames in case it comes back and bites them in the ass again. Unfortunately, the translation is inconsistent. One page they could refer to the Pokemon by its nickname, and the other just call it by the Pokemon name.
Anyways, Yellow is now in the Viridian Forest. Pika goes off on his own and crosses paths with Bill. Bill follows and nearly drowns. Pikachu then gets Yellow, and we learn the second of Yellow's Mary Stu abilities, telepathy. Yellow has the ability to read the minds of Pokemon. Thankfully, instead of being able to read Pikachu's mind and figure out what happened, Pikachu suffers from trauma-induced amnesia. Yellow rescues Bill, however, Wild Seadra appears, and Yellow shows how well suited she is for this quest by saying that Pikachu is weak against water-type Pokemon.
And then they are attacked by a member of the Elite Four who wants Red's Pikachu.
Assuming that Lorelei's Pokemon have the same levels here as in the games, and Yellow's strongest Pokemon is Pikachu, Yellow's next strongest Pokemon is a level 13 Doduo. Yellow's screwed. And so Yellow and Bill manage to escape, using the third ability of Yellow's Mary Stu powers, telekinesis. Yellow is able to move objects with her mind. However, this is mostly limited to the fishing rod and the Pokeball at the end of it. It also turns out that Yellow's powers have one downside, that she's easily exhausted and always loses consciousness at the worst times. Lorelei isn't about to let Yellow escape, but Green saves them, and the first plot point that is hidden by Yellow's hat is revealed. Green had placed a bug in Yellow's hat, so she could spy on Yellow and the Elite Four in order to prepare for when she has to fight them.
And apparently the fear of getting oil on her dress from an unknown assailant is enough to stop her from pursuing. Let's see, oil on your dress estimated at about $59.99, or stopping a kid who may prove to be the downfall of your evil organization whose true powers have fully yet to manifest and you have a clear advantage over in levels. Tough choice. If you're retarded!
Seriously, do the Elite Four want to lose? Why doesn't she just freeze the river? Why does she let Yellow escape? She clearly identifies Yellow as a threat in the next few pages. Their momentum that they used to initially get away will quickly run out. Their feet are encased in ice, so they can't get off the ice raft and hide in the forest, and her dugong can probably catch up once again. There is no logical reason that is shown for her not pursuing. Sometime later, Pikachu has a nightmare. They are on the outskirts of Celadon City and soon meet up with Erica, and then they find Red.
Well, that story arc was over quickly, though I do wonder what happens with the rest of the book. Crap.
No, it turns out to be someone in disguise. He is only known as a super nerd, and invented a bodysuit that is capable of matching Red's scent. And by using the power of science, he is able to change clothing completely by just ripping off his mask. Meanwhile, Blue has gotten a cloak because he is awesome, and he receives a letter from Professor Oak.
Back with the plot, Pikachu is kidnapped and Yellow tries to follow. Erica, however, questions why Yellow only has 2 Pokemon.
And the answer to that question is in Yellow's sketchbook. Turns out that Yellow only wants true friends. Yellow tries to get back Pikachu. Unfortunately, the pacifist is knocked unconscious. but not before thinking up a plan that gets Pikachu free and defeating the Super Nerd. Then the rest of the Gym Leaders of Justice teleport on panel and corner the Super Nerd. Agatha, who is watching from the shadows, decides that the Super Nerd has outlived his usefulness and tries to kill him. Then Blue shows up and is awesome. Misty and Brock then give an Ammonite and Graveler to Yellow. Blue then takes Yellow to train. And then the last portion of the book is a flashback. It takes place before the last two adventures in the previous volume. In it, Blue fights Agatha of the Elite Four, and he learns the ability to cut through things without form.